This conference will now be recorded.
All right, everyone, good morning. Today is Thursday, January 17th. All right, as always, everything that we're going to be talking about this morning is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So let's see what we got going on. So first thing I do want to say is that remember, it is Thursday. Now, Thursdays typically mean a lot of patience and not to run into anything. We're going to be talking a lot about that in class. That's going to be starting at 9, from pretty much 9:15 the second we are done with here. But there are a few good things that I see going on out there. So first thing I'm going to be looking at is MBOT. And the reason behind this is we could see, the buying that was coming in this morning underneath the 10 level was great. Coming into that 11 level, not really much there. But one of the things that we do have to look at is the fact that we have a lot of prints sitting up here at 1350 on the ask side. 69,000 shares at 1150. MBOT does not typically trade any type of bigger prints. So we could see yesterday it came in at 930, 69,000. This is going to be a very important level for us to watch. Now, one thing I do need to see in order for this thing to go anywhere is new buying that's going to be coming in as we get closer to this 11 level. Because the first time, we had a print. There's a few bid prints, not enough for us to go into that. And the orders are very thin, so print is definitely going to affect it, but I just need to see more. And we have not seen that yet, but we do know that there's money up above, and that gives us a very good variable in looking at what we're going to be expecting once the market opens. Morgan Stanley. So apparently, let's talk about for a second what the picture that was posted up there. So CNBC's Fast Money, the man who moves markets, says the lows are in. JP Morgan's Marko Kolanovic explains why. Let me ask you something. The guy in JP Morgan that controls the market, okay, because we know there's a guy or some multiple of guys. You think he's got time to be on CNBC's Fast Money? What do we think? Just think about that for a second. The guy that's controlling this entire market, he's got time to go to JP Morgan. JP Morgan. He's got time to go on CNBC's Fast Money. That literally was, I started laughing hysterically the second I got up and I looked at Discord. So please just keep that in mind. But as we're coming back up, you can see we're not getting any lack of buying. So the new selling that we were looking for, or that we normally would look for, you can see it's just not there. It's unfortunately it's not there. So based off of everything we're seeing, we're just seeing a whole lot more buying that's coming in than any type of selling. So overall, I am going to be expecting, kind of a drastic pullback that comes back from this 43 level. But overall, at the end of the day, we're going to end up seeing this thing back up. There's just way too much buying that's coming back in. Like I said, I am expecting some more movement down first, but overall, I'm seeing a lot of covering. And if we actually look at the volume that this thing came down on, it was okay, but it wasn't anything that was that drastic. Okay, so if we look at the amount of upticks that we were getting into and the amount of buying that we're getting into, it has pretty much covered that 70,000 of what we saw this coming down on. JP is doing something for themselves, of course, absolutely. I'm about to walk past JPM headquarters. Oh, that's great. Why don't you step in and see and ask them if any of them had time, if anyone has time when they're done with their day and done with, basically controlling the market, if they have time to go on and watch and talk on a basically, I don't want to call it a fake news channel because it's not fake news. They're promoting news, but a news channel that literally is known for people doing things for themselves. If the buying is mostly covering, then we would need new buying to get it back up there, right? Okay, so what's the only reason to cover? What's the only reason to cover something? If you were short a stock, what's the only reason to cover? It's this simple. After you've made money, absolutely. Well, do you think it's going to keep going down? Why would somebody cover if they think there's more room to go? Would that make any sense? No, of course not. So the reason that they're covering is because they don't think there's much more room to go. So if they don't think there's much more room to go, guess who else doesn't think there's much more room to go? That's it. It's very simple. So whether it's covering or whether it's buying, you still have to look at it the same exact way. Now, this much buying is telling us a pull down first. So I am going to expect a drastic bar down before we end up coming back up. That's just a lot of covering to come in compared to the amount if you look at the variable of how much it actually went down on. All right, let's move on. LMFA, another one that I'm going to be looking at this morning. This is one where it's got the buying at 2. Okay, and once again, these cheaper stocks, we talk about the variables all the time. There's only a few variables we need, but look at this buying. Beautiful new buying that came in at this 2 level. It honestly, to this point, it would have been, a kind of a shot from the hip trade just off of that much coming back in. So once again, if we see selling the second the market opens, just dead it. There's no reason to look at it anymore. But from what I'm seeing right now, I love the new buying that's coming in. SIG, another one that I'm looking at. Now, this is towards the bottom of my list. It's not the prettiest of stocks we've seen out there, and we have not really seen any type of prints that give us any indication of where it's going yet. But what do you think the range is going to look like today in SIG? We're going to have a big range, small range. So this is literally on the list because what we want to do, we can see there's very, very thin orders going out there. We can tell it usually trades $2.35. So we know the range is going to be bigger than usual. So all we need is a couple prints, 3, 4 prints that come in a burst at a controlling level, and it's going to give us a good trade. So it's at the bottom of the list, but based off the variables that we have in there, it's certainly something I want to look at. So PCG, let's look at PCG for a second. Guys, if you've been watching this, 750, is the 750 level easy to read or is it very, very mixed? What do we got? Okay, so I don't really have time to sit there for the question, but yes, it is very mixed. Is PCG trading very quanty lately or is it trading smoothly? Okay, so obviously very, very quanty. Now, it started moving up a little bit yesterday, and we know there's a lot more to go in his. I am going to put this on my side list just to take a look, just to look at it. But if it does not change its personality once the market opens, take it off your screen. If it starts trading quantity, take it off your screen. Okay, 30 cents in a stock that trades completely quantity is not worth the 30 cents. There's going to be better things out there this morning to look at, but I obviously, with how PCG has been moving, and it's, kind of, I don't want to say my baby, but, when I sat there and explained over and over again how it was going to be hammered and it moved like this, it's something I'm going to have to look like. So it's on the bottom of the side list, but it's still there. And then VTVT. Doing absolutely nothing. So if we have a side list, guess what? This is on the side list. But there is so much buying at that 3 level. And the most importantly, I'm not even worried about the 3 level pulling back, but at 310. So this is not something that you could just take off. I would keep this up and I would look. If we start to see a trigger that comes back up to that 3 level, I am going to, well, if I wasn't teaching this morning, I would click the button. Okay, because there's too much up there. It should have went to 350. So the longer it takes for a stock to go up, the further it gets away from where it needs to be, the higher probability it's going to end up being a trade. SPY I don't look at. So I'm unfortunately doing classes. You got to understand something. So this is the last day that we have of classes. We're finishing our level 3 lesson 3 and level 3 lesson 4 today. So I was off the week before and I've done classes. I have no idea what the stories are. Okay. Ask the veteran traders in the trade room. They will be very happy to go over and well, I mean, don't ask 2 seconds before the market opens, but later on, definitely look at and ask if you have a question. I personally do not know whatsoever what's happening in my stories. I will be building my stories up pretty much next week is when I'm going to be starting. Look at LMFA. Absolutely beautiful. Props to all of them. No, absolutely, they're the best. They're the absolute best. I mean, it's to have people like that in a chat room, you couldn't ask for anything more. But right now, so we could talk about SQ for a second because I'll tell you what I think. So SQ, we can see coming into this morning, 67 level at 5:57 p.m., which is a very weird time. Coming into this morning, we have nothing, but those prints at 67 on the bid side of things, very interesting. Look for a little bit of a jump up from those 67 prints, which I know it's at 66.41, but look for a jump up above those prints and then overall watching them come back down. But that jump up is going to take longer because the further out, the bigger they're going to be building their position. All right, guys. I'm going to go in and ask the market. All right, guys. Anything else out there that I missed? Excluding, obviously, everyday stocks. Everyday stocks going to trade every day. One of the best parts about them. TLRY, there's nothing that's changed in TLRY. Guess where it's got to go? Okay, right now it's kind of just sitting in this consolidation, but overall it's got to go up. Until it goes up, nothing I can do with it because it needs to follow those rules. But it has a lot of room up. So wouldn't be shocked for us, the market to open. Problem is during the pre-market when it trades 13,000 shares, it's almost impossible to even look at because of the fact that it's basically telling us once the market opens, it's not going to have enough volume to trade. But overall, I would definitely be looking for and expecting a big bar towards that upside. All right, guys. So I am going to be starting class right this second, and then I will talk to everyone in the chat right afterwards. Happy trading.